kids, and welcome to a very special DVD exclusive episode of Comic Book Issues. I'm your host, Brian Heinz. You know, it occurs to me in all the years I've been doing this that I may have neglected your educations. Oh, sure. You know all about fifth dimensional imps, post-movie comic book launches, and mutant vigilante free-for-alls, and for that, I'm grateful. But your mother and I have been talking, and we think it's time you learned about love. With that in mind, stop that giggling! We're going to review a favorite story of mine from Campus Loves number 5. It's I Paid the Price. Something no girl has ever said on the first date. Just kidding, honey. What's that? You don't exist and I'm going to die alone? Marvelous. I Paid the Price opens with so much wrong it's hard to know where to begin. Young Connie Desmond admits she thought she could buy love, just like she bought cars, ponies, and one assumes large quantities of cocaine with daddy's money. But now finds herself getting a spanking in a classroom by an authority figure abusing his power. Oh, Mondays. We flash back to see big business father seeing daughter off to college. He's sunk a lot of money into that place just so he'd have somewhere to ship her off to one day. She promises to work the family name if there are any troubles. Connie arrives at her college, and we get our first celebrity cameo. Baby Herman's mother from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Connie wants to hire a cab, but the driver won't take her alone. It would mean other students had to walk. Furious, she accepts a ride from Grant Peters, Sigma Delta president, who points out that the cabbie is named Bert Taylor. That's how truly impoverished this town is. They can't afford a lower class, so instead of immigrants, handsome white men with excellent diction are forced to drive the cabs. Sad, this depressed economy. So rather than the safety of a cab filled with other students, she accepts a ride from a strange man who hangs out at a train station waiting for vulnerable women. Connie glosses over the rest of that ride, and we cut to the next day. She walks into her math room class late that day, only to find that the cabbie is teaching it. What kind of society do we live in where honest, hardworking cabbies have to take side jobs teaching college-level math just to make ends meet? Damn you, President Truman! First MacArthur, now this? Psh. He points out that she's late, and having stood up to her twice now, Connie's decided to take math cabbie down a peg. He explains, after class, that he's not a professor yet, only a graduate student. He'll become a teacher when he graduates this summer. She mentions that his eyes are blue and intelligent. Well, he's had enough. He's a man, and he's tired of being reduced to a sex object by the women here. He grabs Connie, bends her over, and prepares to smack her firm buttocks with his open hand. Dear Penthouse, I never thought it could happen to me. It all began with a classroom spanking. Bit my lip with anticipation? Lemon curry? Oh my. We skip the rest of this bondage play, but so far Connie's 0 for 2 with the men she's met. No one's ever stood up to her before, so she decides to break him without Daddy's help. She shoots down Grant's date request. She's got a life to destroy. Phase 1. Study hard and become Bert's top student. Through hard work and diligence, she's soon the best math student in Bert's class. Phase 2. Get a date. Since she's a good student now, Bert agrees to her suggestion to go out to dinner and take a ride in his broken-down car. They watch the sunset, and it's time. Phase 3. Frame Bert for murder. Except Connie never quite gets around to this. They kiss, and Bert kindly informs her that she's in love with him. Bert, the man she just kissed. So instead she calls Daddy and asks him to help her set up her future happiness, which he and his money are only too happy to do. Soon, Bert is thrilled. He's been offered a teaching job at this university. Bert proposes, and Connie decides to marry this man she's known for a week, even as a dark stain threatens to Oh wait, it's Grant. He congratulates Bert on using Connie's dad to get his new job. Bert is stunned. He won't take the job someone else has earned just because of Connie's influence. No, stop! You and your millions are ruining my life. I must continue to drive 8 kids at once for $2 a pop in order to earn my teaching degree honestly. Then, and only then, can I support you in the manner to which you become accustomed on a teacher's self. Oh no, I'm sorry, I could get through that with a straight face. Call Dad, I'll take the vice presidency. I'm making a red Lamborghini this time. Heartbroken that her man has a sense of decency, she breaks things off with Bert and right in front of him agrees to go with Grant to his weekend-long frat bender. I'm not one to blame the victim, but this girl's just asking to be wrapped in plastic and thrown in the ocean before the weekend's up. They can't let the dean know about a mixed couples party or they're through at college, but that doesn't slow down the old woo pitching from Grant, nor the suggestive doublespeak on Connie's behalf. But Bert's there to take Connie away from this fun. Grant politely asks Bert to leave, only to get told that the dean is on his way to expel the lot of them. Hit by the double whammy of a cock block and losing his riches, Grant takes the honorable way out of a 5th-story window. Connie apologizes. She loves Bert and will wait with him for as long as it takes, which won't be that long as he's just been hired to teach at Browning University. Still, they need to leave before the dean expels them. But Bert made that up to break up the party. They have a good laugh as Bert goes in for a kiss, but completely misses Connie's lips. Well, kids, I hope that clears up any questions you have about the love between a man and a woman. How the lies of a woman can tear that love apart, and how only the lies of a man can bring them back together. It hasn't? You've got more questions? Fair enough. Let's take a closer look at I Paid the Price in Campus Loves number 5. Well, this is a fun comic in the same way a bad movie from this time would be fun to watch. The tired stereotypes, the bad acting, the confusing motivation. We're getting them all here in this so-called romance comic. Let's examine the lovebirds. There's Connie, whom we're supposed to believe is neglected because her dad doesn't drive her to school, and spoiled because she has money. But Dad answers all her calls and does whatever he can to make her happy, so there goes neglect. That's her spoiled? Yeah, I guess, but it's not like she's looking down on the poor or being followed around by private servants. She's late to class on her first day and gets called out on it. Thus begins her Machiavellian and baffling plot to destroy Bert. A plan that seems to be all about her becoming an A student and winning his affection. Tell me, what was her long game? Get married, have 5 or 6 kids, and then leave him when he's on his deathbed? Burn. As for Bert, he's a good-looking man, so I guess he didn't need a personality. Actually, the only time he shows any personality is when he decides to abuse a position of authority to inflict corporal punishment on a student. He would be so fired today. But it's 1950 and Connie's just a silly old girl. She doesn't matter. Finally, there's Bert's rival Grant, who never seems particularly despicable. He just seems to want to spend time with Connie, but he throws a party, so he's the bad guy, I guess? Maybe the story's problem is it's too real life. In real life, there isn't a lot of drama and clear-cut good guys and bad guys. It's just kind of boring. And while that's probably for the best in the real world in a comic book, it leads to confusion and boredom for the reader. Confusion and boredom? I don't think I could have ever better summed up my love life. I Paid the Price in Campus Loves number 5. 1 out of 5 stars. Well, boys, Janet, I hope you've learned a little something about love today. How revenge can lead to terrible things like career advancement, and how spankings make everything okay, and why I keep mailing Scarlett Johansson poems written in my own blood. Woozy. Now let's go get ice cream. Comic Book Issues was filmed in front of a live studio, one haunted by an ancient Japanese spirit.